2 years ago, Mercedes Hesta suffered his first loss fighting for the IBF lightweight title. Now he wants a crack at redemption, but he must get a win tonight in our main event to get back into position. This heavyweight stands nearly 7 feet tall. His name is Taishan. He's known as the man with the knockout punch. He makes his pro and U.S. debut next on Golden Boy Live on Fox Sports 1. Tonight we are in the city by the bay, San Francisco, known for its picturesque views and its cool summer nights. And let's not forget the historic Golden Gate Bridge built back in 1937. And the Bay Bridge, which connects Oakland to San Francisco. Well, the action will certainly be hot tonight in our main event. Mercedes Hesta steps into the ring against the 14-year veteran Louise ShCotton. We are inside Longshoremen's Hall here on the north side of San Francisco by the wharf. This venue holds a little over 1,200 people. They are ready to watch the fights. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Custer alongside my broadcast partner, Paulie Malignaggi. And Paulie, another intriguing fight card tonight. We've got a 7-footer from China making his pro and, of course, U.S. debut here tonight. But in our main event, we've got Mercedes Hesta, who really wants to get back into that lightweight title picture. But he needs a win here tonight if he wants to make that happen.
Yeah, you know, after taking the defeat to Miguel Vasquez in a shot at the lightweight title, he kind of had to reassess his career, reassess his team. So he went back to train with his father, who had always been around but had never really been the head trainer. So he went back and made his father the head trainer. He's had a comeback win since after taking 16 months off. And now looking to continue that momentum. And this is his second fight on the comeback. And we'll see how it goes.
And it's also his second fight inside this venue. Of course, he fought last year in 2011. Let's take a look at our entire fight card here tonight. Guess Hesta, ShCotton, they are in the main event. Our co-main? Well, it's the San Francisco Kid, Jonathan Chicas, taking on the unbeaten Emmanuel Robles. It could be the fight of the night, folks. But we are going to start with the heavyweights. And we have a mountain of a man in Taishan from China taking on Alex Rozman. Paulie, walk us through the numbers. What stands out to you?
What stands out is his name, Taishan. He's named after a mountain in China, the highest peak in China, so, as far as what they told us, Mount Taishan. He's 7 feet tall, and in just a 16-foot ring, he's going to be quite an imposing figure for Alex Rozman to deal with.
Well, take a look at Taishan, as Paulie just said, 7 feet tall, former Thai boxing champion, says his goal is to become the Yao Ming of boxing here in the United States. Both men are in the ring. Let's get the official introduction. Here's Joe Martinez.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, our first bout tonight, 4 rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, he weighed officially 255 pounds. Tonight, he enters the ring for the 9th time as a professional. Hailing from Moline, Illinois, here is Alex Rozman. And next, his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing red trunks, trimmed in gold. He weighed in officially 287 pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional debut and joins us from Beijing, China. Here is the Great Wall, Taishan. Referee in charge of the action is Ed Coyantes.
Okay, you receive your instructions in the dressing room. Get your commands at all times. Protect yourself. Remind you when I say stop, you stop. Touch gloves. Let's go. Okay.
All you have to do is take a look at the height disparity between these two, Paul. This is unbelievable.
You know, and Rozman at 6'3" is not a little guy.
Small guy at all.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty big, imposing guy himself. But next to Taishan, it's unbelievable the height and size difference.
Here we go. This is round 1. These guys are going for Taishan making his pro U.S. debut. It's Alex Rozman. Rozman in the black trunks.
Rozman can't stay out right outside like this. He's got to either be all the way out or all the way in. Seems like he's trying to move around, but he's got to make a decision as far as, is he going to get in the chest of Taishan, or he's going to be all the way out? Because you don't want to stand at that exact point where Taishan can get all the leverage on his shots.
Well, he talked a lot in our fighter meeting that watching tape he saw of Taishan, he felt like he opens up. He wanted to work his body, get on the inside of him. But he realizes that Taishan has tremendous knockout power. And one of the things you have when you have a guy, especially who has that MMA, Muay Thai background like Taishan has, is teaching him to learn how to throw a correct punch.
Yeah, you know, he's got to get his balance right. And his stance looks really good considering he comes back from that Muay Thai background where you stand a little bit different, where you have to worry about kicks and you have to give kicks. You know, Taishan looks pretty comfortable in that boxing stance right now. Matter of fact, even when he backs up, you know, at times he's off balance a little bit, but he's pretty nimble.
Halfway through the first round, and you can see that stiff jab of Taishan already doing damage to Rozman as he comes in.
Yeah, you can tell Rozman didn't like the way that one felt. He ran his way in and smothered. Taishan starting to establish that jab, which for a guy his height, obviously...
That's like a power punch.
Yeah, it will become like a power punch, and also it'll establish some kind of rhythm. Rozman seems a little frustrated now. He's trying to rush in again, and Taishan pushed him down there.
Minute left here in the first round.
I'll tell you, man, sometimes you parry the guy's jabs when they jab at you, but I don't know that Taishan's jab might be so heavy you can't even parry it. You may have to either slip it or it's going to go right through your glove, and you can't even parry it.
It'll be interesting to see how Rozman
again.
Gets through there as he tries to make his way in, and he does connect with a left hook.
And just barely, and that's the frustrating thing, you know. To hit him, you got to get in his wheelhouse, and it's also hard to reach him when you do get close, because at 6'3", Rozman is about 9 inches shorter than his Taishan.
There's a left-handed
from a jab.
Seconds left in the round. This broadcast of Golden Boy on Fox is brought to you by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Let's go to the third member of our broadcast team, Jessica Rosales.
So Taishan the fighter stands 7 feet tall, 287 pounds, and Taishan the mountain is the most climbed mountain in China. Now guys, from the foot of the mountain to the top, it's more than 7,200 steps. Takes the average person anywhere from 7 to 12 hours to climb, but that's not why he picked that name. He actually did that whole climb in 4 hours. Top, the feeling he had was indescribable, like what he would feel at the very height of his career. He's been using that name for 2 years now, and he says he hopes that his name will be just as famous as that mountain.
He's right. You know, Taishan, real name Dong, but he took on that Taishan name once he climbed that mountain 2 years ago.
And a knockdown with a jab, and you could see that jab was bothering Rozman. Finally, it was able to actually take him off his feet.
There's a stiff right hand by Taishan.
Taishan just missed with a couple of right hands this round, but he's coming out thinking a little bit more offensively. Let's see if Rozman can deal with it, or at least even smother the work of Taishan, because I think Rozman would be better served to get in the chest of Taishan and try to work inside there.
Well, he said that was the game plan again, as that one's called a push. Well, Rozman's on a 5-fight losing streak. He's been stopped in 4 of those fights. But he just loves to fight. Former MMA guy. Just wants to fight, he said. As these guys go toe-to-toe here. And he's still picking up in the second round.
He's trying. You got to give Rozman some credit for the effort.
You know, Rozman is a former bodybuilder. And there's another jab that drops him.
He also looks out of breath and tired. Let's see how much longer he lasts here.
He is definitely sucking wind here in the second round. Almost at the halfway point. Again, another jab that drops him back, and he goes. He calls that one a push.
I don't know if that was a push. That looked like some shots landed there. Let's see what happens now. Rozman might have been able to use that break. Let's see.
Rozman just coming forward, pressing the action here in round 2.
Yeah, that's his best bet, you know, trying to push forward, trying to back Taishan up. Let's see if Taishan can work off the back foot. And finally, Rozman lands a shot.
Yeah, he lands a left hand.
The thing about Rozman, he's sucking wind and throwing all these haymakers is only going to make him more tired. Let's see what happens if Taishan does land.
There's a right hand, as you just called it, Paulie, and drops him right on the top of the head, and that's it. Taishan victorious in his professional and U.S. debut. He says his goal is to become the Yao Ming of boxing here in the United States.
And a great pro debut. He looks spectacular. The crowd seems to love him. And certainly an imposing figure. And showed the punching power to back it up.
Referee Ed Galantes just told us the reason why he stopped the fight was because Alex Rozman told him he was done. That's why he stopped the fight.
Oh, you know, it's multiple knockdowns. You can see Rozman sucking wind. He was tired. He couldn't take the punching power of Taishan. In the end, you know, a good stoppage. You guys 2-6 at this point. You know, it was certainly a good stoppage, well timed. And Rozman knew it.
And you might ask, what is this guy that tall doing in boxing? He said at 14, China, the country, put him in a special training for basketball. He said, I just didn't like it. I like to fight. That's why I became a boxer.
You know, he looks at Yao Ming as the example he wants to follow to get the notoriety in the States. But basketball wasn't for him. He likes to fight.
Let's take a look at the first knockdown here from the last round, the first round.
And again, just a, you know, well in there and square on the face of Rozman. He's a different angle, different on the nose.
Wow.
And just the momentum and the power.
And that's the jab. Imagine from this guy.
Yeah, and a couple times he did that.
Yeah.
Here's Rozman trying to create some momentum there, but again, Taishan throws a short right hand on the inside, and I think a combination of the inability to take the punching power, Taishan will score that knockdown right there. It is again just a massive guy with some real power and hard to deal with. And when you're trying to push a guy this big around the ring as well, like Rozman was doing, that will also fatigue you.
Well, tonight's CompuBox stats, they're brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com, Draft Fighters, Track Stats, and Win. And you can see Taishan, of course, landed the heavier, powerful punches. Let's get the official time of this stoppage. Here's Joe Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, in comes the official time. 1 minute, 58 seconds, round number 2. Referee Ed Galantes puts a halt to the contest for your winner by KO victory, the Great Wall, Taishan.
Great Wall indeed. Says he does 2,000 sit-ups a day. He's in phenomenal shape. How are you going to get guys to fight him?
You know, it's going to be hard because, you know, you see the size of him and the punching power. It's going to be hard to get guys to, you know, step in the ring with him, especially on the way up where you're looking for opponents where he can learn and get better along the way. It's going to probably cost the promoters and the managers a little bit more money to get opponents in the ring because they won't fight him for the natural money that they're used to making.
Well, Taishan victorious in his pro and U.S. debut. We are just getting started. We're in San Francisco. Coming up, some welterweights. Jonathan Chicas from San Francisco. We'll be back.